Welcome to Hinton, buddy.
Let's see how this is.
I'm doing Jasmine today. I've got sense. We're on Front Street. Now, Hinton was really started in Avis. And down where Mary Avis Hinton lived, and down in there was a city hall, and they had a mayor, they had a jail, and everything. Well, this was the upper hayfield. And then the Hintons and people let the railroad take it over, and the town began to bloom, and they started up here because at the time after the Civil War, 1870, let's say, when Summers County was founded, they started building up here because they were building the roundhouse, the turntable, and the train station. And since the trains would come down here and they had side tracks, like for where the freight depot is, there's tracks down there still, and the block plant, and the grocery stores. This was Front Street. This was the commercial district. Okay, so uptown commercial district. Okay, so we had the YMCA, we had the Porters and Diners Club and the Black Hotel up here. And then, since we had to bury people, we had Tombstone, and which is Hinton Marble Works. And then in 1923, we had the bakery, which is right next door. So this was the commercial district. And they call it Commercial Street, too, because when you go down that way, there was all sorts of bars, and there was places where they bring in cars with meat on it at the old roller skating rink. That was they sold meat there and everything. And but in them days, people came from Mercer County to get jobs in Hinton. They came from Fayette County over Meadow Bridge to come here. Because I looked through all the county records from all 4 counties around here, and you can look at the names. Mountains are families here. The Gwynns, the Kaleses, the Wards, the Gills and the Atkinses. Hatfields and McCoys ain't nothing compared to this place. Because we had the Gills and the Atkins, and until their families intermingled, they had feuds all the time down in here. Now, these were fur trappers and hunters and mountain men who had a whole culture of their own where they brought timber in. They built the railroad. They were the ones, and my friend Al Gill, he helped do crosscuts, and they sold them at Sandstone. They didn't get them from China and Japan. They made him when he was 12 years old. They used the broad axe and the crosscut up in Sandstone. So railroad came in. This was the halfway point between Clifton Forge and Hawk's Nest and down on the Canal River. And it gets real narrow down here. All these little towns, they were coal mining towns down in the gorge. We were timber people. This is the largest hardwood forest in the world right here. And the National Park came in and preserved it for us because it was going to get clear cut. And so we were happy for that. But the mountain culture and the river culture built the railroad. They brought bateau boats down from the Greenbrier, from Lewisburg, down the New River from Virginia, and they brought supplies to this community that was coming up to help the railroad come to Hinton in 1870. And the John Henry tunnel's up here, and that was one of the big problems they had. Get that done. All right? And then the coal started moving and everything, and Hinton just took off. It was like a gold rush town, a silver mining town. I call it a railroad boom town. And it survived and prospered, Johnny. And I'm still trying to collect history of it, but most of the old timers are dead. And I was lucky enough when we came here to be on the tail end of it, because I talked to all the old people, having a printing press and everything, and they gave me pictures and they told me stories, and they're all gone. Try and talk to an 80 or 90-year-old now. There ain't none. I'm the 80 or 90-year-old because I paid attention to people, and I filed it right here. And, you know, we need to write it down. We need to record it. That's what it's all about and stuff. And everything. Front Street. The oldest curb in Hinton is right down here, and it was made out of ironstone, which is a sandstone that people cut here from the quarries, which were up Incinerator and then down at Fall Branch and then down at Sandstone. That's where they quarried sandstone around here. We make them the old way.
Okay.
My kids use them as nunchucks for the. When the power goes out in Hinton, who do they go to see? Hippie John. He makes candles. These are not made in China at Dollar General. These are made right here. You want to learn? I'll show you how to do it. Look, this professional photographer from Princeton did that for me. Look, this professional photographer from Princeton did that for me.